Be prepared. You've just moved beyond what most people spend their entire lives searching for. And now, your awakening is coming to an end. Tomorrow, on July 22nd, the sun moves into Leo. And whether you're ready or not, something in you is about to be exposed. Spiritual awakenings don't exactly end in the conventional way, but they do evolve. And this Leo transit, it's the phase no one warns you about, when the storm finally calms down and you're left standing in the aftermath, no longer searching, just becoming. This Leo shift will reveal the signs that your spiritual awakening is ending, not because your journey is over, but because you've finally outgrown the chaos that started it. And here's the twist. You have no idea, but one of the signs that you've reached this turning point is something that's already happening to you, and you've been completely unaware of what it really means. But first, there's something even more important you need to know, something most people never realize about this stage. This is the secret stage of awakening they don't talk about. Most people get stuck. They stay caught in the loop, the triggers, the emotional roller coasters, the constant chasing of signs. They confuse chaos with progress because they've never known anything else. But this Leo shift, it's not about breaking down anymore. It's about breaking through. The truth is, some people don't even realize they've outgrown the awakening phase, not because they've stopped growing, but because they've started embodying it. This is what no one tells you. There's a point where you don't feel like you're awakening anymore because you're just aligned. You're not proving anything. You're not talking about being spiritual, you just are. And here's the part no one expects. When the chaos ends, so does the noise. And what's left is silence, stillness, peace. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're not chasing anymore. This is the moment most people never reach. The space where you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start noticing, nothing's wrong at all. And that silence, that stillness, it's not emptiness, it's arrival, which brings us to what happens next. When the awakening ends, your old escapes stop working. You expect peace. What you get is restlessness. Not the kind that pushes you to heal more or fix something, but the kind that makes you feel caged, like you've outgrown your skin, but there's nowhere left to expand. This is one of the most overlooked phases of spiritual awakening. The moment where there's nothing left to chase, and that terrifies you. You feel weirdly stuck, not because you're falling behind, but because everything that used to give you meaning, motivation, or direction has quietly collapsed. You don't want your old life, but you haven't quite landed in the new one either. Why? Because the external work is done. Now, it's an inner confrontation. You're no longer distracted by the breakdowns. There's no ego death to focus on, no spiritual war to win, just you, your energy, your thoughts, your truth, and that is where most people freak out. This restlessness is the void between awakening and embodiment. The space where you realize that healing was never the destination. It was the detox before the actual work began. This is what the Leo energy is reflecting now. There's nowhere left to run from who you've become. And the longer you resist settling into it, the louder that inner discomfort grows. Not because something's wrong, but because you're still looking for chaos to distract you from your own light. This isn't boredom. It's the edge of your new life forming, and it's waiting for you to finally step into it. You're not losing people, you're losing illusions. Remember what I said earlier? That there's one big sign this shift has already started in your life, and you probably didn't even realize it? Here it is. You've been feeling disconnected from others. You can't explain it, but conversations feel off. Friendships feel shallow. People you once trusted suddenly feel like strangers. And worst of all, you feel like you've become the problem. But you haven't. You've just outgrown the masks. As the sun enters Leo, everything fake begins to burn. Leo energy is bold. It doesn't tolerate performance or spiritual pretending. And right now, anything in your life that isn't aligned with your truth is being exposed, especially in your relationships. That subtle discomfort you feel around people lately, that's not social anxiety. That's your soul recognizing when it's no longer safe to shrink. This is one of the clearest signs that your spiritual awakening is ending, not because you're done, but because you're evolving beyond the version of you that needed constant validation, approval, or community to feel real. Spiritual awakening doesn't end, but the audience you had during it might. You're stepping into a phase where you can no longer pretend, where you'd rather be alone than surrounded by people who don't see you, not the version of you that's palatable or spiritual enough, but the real you. And yes, it's lonely. It's meant to be. Leo clears the stage before the new cast arrives. The Soul family, the ones who aren't confused by your silence or triggered by your light. The soul awakens first. The body follows, slowly. Here's what no one tells you. Your body doesn't wake up at the same pace your spirit does. Your awakening may have felt like it happened overnight. A cascade of realizations, inner shifts, emotional breakthroughs. But while your consciousness was moving at lightning speed, your body was still trying to catch up. And now,